2025 taught me something very important. Healing doesn't always come with a finish line. Sometimes it comes with a breath. Sometimes it just comes with rest, taking the time to heal and lie down. Sometimes it comes with choosing to stay when violence is not included. Welcome to Embracing the Fight, where the conversations to heal are had and the work begins. I am Erica Lamar, your digital creator and host since January of 2023. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to Embracing the Fight on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X, Blue Sky. Now, the only difference is on Instagram, it will be Embracing the Fight underscore. And the underscore is important because someone already has the Embracing the Fight tag on Instagram. Also, the audio only version is available through Libsyn, and it airs on platforms like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Samsung, just to name a few. Also, if you would like to be a guest on Embracing the Fight, just send me an email to operations@diversitydesigned.com, or you can send me a private message on any social media platform. And once you do that, I will reach back out to you. Now that the business of everything is out of the way, let us jump into today's episode, 2025, a year in review. 2025 wasn't about, having all the answers. It was about honesty, about faith, about truly learning to listen to God, to our bodies, and to our stories. This year, we learned to lean into the conversations that truly matter. Because, healing lives on the other side of truth happens daily when you decide to talk about those things. So, all right. The first few episodes that we had in 2025 focused on reflections and blessings, or reflections and beginnings. So in 2025, we began the year with reflection, not to stay in the past, but to truly understand it. You think about it. It's not that new beginnings don't always arrive loudly. Sometimes they arrive quietly and in the still of the night. In moments of vulnerability, they will arrive. Moments where you admit, or you can admit, that you truly are tired. Moments where you say, I don't know what's next, but I'm still, and I'm still willing to fight. I'm still willing to try. We talked about coming to the crossroads, in your life, where you don't know which way to turn, and you have to choose between comfort and between calling. And then you realize that sometimes the bravest choice is just to pause and seek God's voice. Healing doesn't rush. Healing truly listens. Then a little further into the year, we start talking about faith, grace, and vulnerability. This year, oh my goodness, when I say it reminded us that vulnerability is not weakness, it's courage. I can't stress that, anymore. We talked about grace and being rescued by it, being held by it, by allowing it to hold the threads of our life together. We talked about faith not as perfection, but as trust. Trust when you're waiting. And that's, to those single people who waited for years and years for their mate and they're still waiting. Trust when you're tired. Trust when your miracle hasn't shown up yet. Learning to be okay with being okay. Because sometimes faith really, takes on the look that you're saying, "Mm, God, I trust you, even here, even in this place, when you have no idea of what's going to happen." Get a little further into the year, we talk about your body actually telling, the story. So in 2025, we truly listened to our bodies. We talked about nutrition, movement, and not from, a shame point of view, but more from stewardship, because this is the only body you have. And you have to steward it well in order to see, the benefit of long life and good health. We talked about sugar addiction, detoxing, drug interaction, perimenopause, eating disorders, and illnesses. We learned that our body is not the enemy. The body is truly a translator. It holds what we haven't processed. Think about it. When you're in pain, your body's going to let you know right away. It'll even give you the source of the pain. But guess what? Your body always remembers what we survived. And then, when we listen, the body helps guide us back to ourselves. It's never wrong. It never lies to you. And then the further we get into the year, we talk about survival and testimony. There were so many amazing stories that had men and women alike come on and share them with boldness. Stories of surviving, stories of advocacy, stories of miracle, stories that said what tried to break me didn't win. Stories that said there are safe places. Survival, it isn't just about, making it through. It's about choosing to live fully afterward. Because once you go through something, don't die with whatever it is. Keep living. And you know what else? Every story reminded us that not one fight is wasted. And then we move further into the year when we talk about mental, emotional, and soul healing. We created safe spaces this year. And it was amazing how people came and they wanted to talk about things that people would usually hold close to them, spaces to talk about trauma, the imposter syndrome, self-doubt, addiction. We even talked about breath, about rest, about music feeding the soul. I mean, there's so much that we talked about on Embracing the Fight that we were looking at every aspect of our life. We talked about being tired and giving ourselves permission to say it out loud, to say no, and to choose ourselves. Healing doesn't always require silence. Healing truly invites honesty. And if people love you and they want you to heal, they'll accept both of those things. And you don't have to heal alone. Then further on into the year, we talk about purpose, ambition, and letting go. So 2025 asked us to look at our purpose differently. It's like, are you good at something? Why are you doing it? No. We said, how can trauma actually trigger your purpose? How can pain shape your purpose? We talked about ambition, not as pressure, but as a calling. Because sometimes we'll get ambitious and we'll try things and people will put expectations on us. And then when things don't happen, we feel the pressure and we feel like failure. And that's when we talked about letting go of guilt, of expectation, of patterns that no longer serve us. Choosing us was the main source of every episode in 2025. We also talked, and we got closer to the end of the year, about generational wealth that you can't spend, wisdom, boundaries, healing. And you know what? Purpose doesn't always come with clarity. Sometimes it comes with courage. You just have to believe that it is coming. And that courage helps you to keep showing up until it does. With all those things that we talked about, this is how we close 2025 and embracing the fight. If you're here listening to this means that you're still standing. You're not behind. You're still breathing. You're not finished. You're still trying. You're stronger than you think. 2025 wasn't about perfection. It wasn't about winning every battle. It was about staying in the fight. Thank you to every that came on this year. Thank you to every listener, every person that has subscribed. Thank you so much for fighting with me in 2025. This is embracing the fight. And we're just getting started. Just getting started. Because there is a whole world out there waiting for us to fight. And again, thank you all for taking time out of your busy day to view this episode of Embracing the Fight. And as always, I want you all to have an absolutely amazing day.